Chiquis is a gang in Oxnard, California. Their territory is from Emerson Avenue in the north to East Channel Islands Boulevard in the south and from South Rose Avenue in the west to El Dorado Avenue in the east. Main rival, Colonia Chiquis. In the new. Between 2006 and 2012, the city of Oxnard had 5 homicides that investigators believe were committed by members of the Lemonwood Chiquis gang. In August of 2012, the Oxnard Police Department formed a special task force to solve these homicides. As a result of the task force's extensive investigation, the department arrested 18-year-old Christian Sanchez for the October 12, 2011 homicide of Sergio Arroyo. Sanchez was subsequently convicted for this homicide. On January 17, 2009 at approximately 8 p.m., officers from the Oxnard Police Department responded to a call of a fight with shots fired in the 2700 block of El Dorado Avenue. Upon the officers' arrival, they located 2 victims who had sustained stab wounds. A third victim showed up at the hospital an hour after the incident with a minor stab wound. The 28-year-old homicide victim, later identified as Alfredo Vargas, underwent emergency surgery and died at approximately 2:30 a.m. on Sunday. The task force has continued to work on the Alfredo Vargas homicide as well as other open homicides involving Lemonwood Chiquis gang members. On March 29, 2013, the Ventura County District Attorney's Office filed charges on Jonathan Gallegos in connection with his role in this homicide. These charges include murder and committing the murder for the benefit of a criminal street gang, the Lemonwood Chiquis. There continues to be several outstanding suspects in the Alfredo Vargas homicide as well as the other homicides involving the Lemonwood Chiquis gang members. Arrests in the near future for these homicides are highly likely. These investigations are the result of countless investigative hours and a cooperative effort involving multiple local law enforcement agencies. The Ventura County Sheriff's Department and the Ventura County District Attorney's Office all played key roles in these successful investigations. In March of last year, a member of the Lemonwood Chiquis gang gunned down a rival gang member outside a market on the outskirts of the neighborhood. 6 months later, 14-year-old Marco Martinez was shot in the head in a drive-by shooting in the middle of the afternoon while standing on the front lawn of his family's Napoleon Avenue home. Martinez was not killed, but required an operation to remove shotgun pellets from his skull. The shooter never was found. "The neighborhood is not as good as when we first moved in," said Marco's father, Frank Martinez, a Filipino immigrant who bought a home in Lemonwood 10 years ago. "When I moved here this neighborhood had no fences. Now everybody has fences." Martinez, an engineer with the county's Public Works Department, said he has considered moving away, but doesn't know where to go. "I want to raise my boys, but I'm not sure what is safe right now," he said. "It's almost getting as bad as Los Angeles." Oxnard police spokesman David Keith said neighborhood crime has actually stabilized in recent years. "It's got a higher crime rate than most neighborhoods in Oxnard," Keith said of Lemonwood. "But it's better today, even with its problems, than it was in the mid-80s. Then, Keith said, about a half-dozen hardcore juvenile criminals lived in the neighborhood and caused many problems. Through a special police program, the offenders were taken off the street, and what were spikes in crime became flat lines." But Keith acknowledges that Lemonwood continues to be a problem-plagued slice of the city. "It got better," he said, "but now it's slowly starting to go downhill." Police and residents agree that only a good measure of community involvement can pull the neighborhood out of its long, slow nosedive. But so far, the community appears to be going in the wrong direction. The Lemonwood Neighborhood Council, which acts as an advisory body to the Oxnard City Council, has been inactive for several months following the resignation of the neighborhood council president. After years of winning district-wide membership drives, the Lemonwood School PTA now consists of 3 mothers. A recently formed neighborhood watch group near the school was disbanded after the block captain moved out of the area. "You can't tell by looking," Martinez said, "but this area is in a social decline. Like a cancer from their new home in a new housing tract on Oxnard's north side." Mark and Rabia Yeaman see Lemonwood very differently. 3 years ago, the couple bought a Lemonwood home owned by Mark Yeaman's parents. He lived in the home from the time he was a high school sophomore until a couple of years after graduation. "We had visited his parents frequently, and when we'd visit I'd see the neighborhood and be concerned," Rabia Yeaman said. But where she saw problems, Mark Yeaman saw a community in need. He organized a neighborhood watch group that monitored area crime and alerted police to problems. But 2 shootings on their ordinarily quiet cul-de-sac convinced the couple to move last summer. The neighborhood watch group disbanded. The sign warning troublemakers to stay away has been mangled almost beyond recognition. "To me, it's a shame," Mark Yeaman said of the deterioration that has settled in over the years. "The neighborhood has great potential." Marlene Doyle lives in a neighborhood separated from Lemonwood by Channel Islands Boulevard. As captain of a newly formed neighborhood watch group in her area, Doyle has studied her neighbors to the north and is alarmed by what she has learned. "Naturally their problems are going to spill into our neighborhood," she said. "It's like a cancer and it's starting to spread." Doyle has invited Lemonwood residents interested in revitalizing neighborhood watch groups to join her effort. "We're out there to stop it," she said. "If we don't, they'll take over." Across town, Mark Yeaman feels as though he's abandoned his old neighborhood. He's glad he moved, and likes his new home. But he looks back at Lemonwood and can't help but feel pained. "It could be a great neighborhood, it could be fine," he said. "It's just a few people, as far as I'm concerned, who are really making things bad." An urge to move through the crackle of a police scanner, Art Carmona has listened as his neighborhood has gone downhill. Born and raised in Oxnard's La Colonia neighborhood, the 48-year-old garage owner bought his home new 20 years ago after returning from the Vietnam War. "It was a good area. Peaceful. Quiet," he said. "But it has really gotten out of hand." On his scanner, Carmona said he hears police respond nightly to reports of gang fights and vandalism. He said he hears officers chase suspects through the back alleys that slice through the community. "A lot of things have happened in 20 years, he said. "To tell you the truth, if I could afford it I'd move out."